सम्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं श नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। गरज आहे का त्याची नाही ना कॅमेरा चालू हा.
हाँ।
हरे कृष्ण. Everybody is present. So today we are beginning with our second unit of Bhakti Shastri, third unit. Third unit of our Bhakti Shastri, that is first six chapters of Bhagavad Gita. So welcome all of you. We had decided some norms for Bhakti Shastri class. Many of you are following those norms. So I request those devotees who are not able to follow norm that those some rules regularly or today to please stand up. The norm for Bhakti Shastri is to have nice tilak on the forehead, to wear dhoti and kurta, not only kurta. Okay. So we request you. I think Prem Charupu is also like that. We'll request him also once he comes to please wear dhoti kurta. If you have some problem driving or people saying something or XYZ, you can wear dhoti kurta after coming to temple. Come early. Wearing dhoti kurta for these classes with nice bright tilak is mandatory. So please do that. Thank you. Please sit down. So Bhagavad Gita, we have discussed a lot on Bhagavad Gita before also. During our lockdown, if you remember, we had classes. इसकी जरूरत है क्या? I am present here. अच्छा. I think projector is not required now today. Next time onwards it is required. Another important thing before starting this third unit, how many of you have completely done with your second unit and first unit? प्रेम चारू प्रभु, हमने अभी जो ड्यूटीज नॉर्म फॉलो नहीं कर पा रहे उनको खड़ा रहने के लिए बोला था, तो आप आपसे भी वो नॉर्म फॉलो नहीं हो रहा है धोती कुर्ता और तिलक का, आप 1 मिनट खड़ा हो जाइए. प्लीज स्टैंड अप. भाई बहुत सारे रीजन हो सकते हैं, आपके लिए धोती कुर्ता खरीद के रूम भी रख सकते हैं इधर. ठीक है. सो प्लीज वी रिक्वेस्ट यू टू वेयर धोती कुर्ता एंड ब्राइट तिलक ऑन योर फोरहेड व्हेन यू कम फॉर भक्ति शास्त्र. How many devotees have given OBA for Ishobnishad? How many of you have submitted OBA for Ishobnishad? How many devotees have given close book of Ishobnishad? You are present, right, in Bhakti Shastri? Yes. How many of you have given shloka test of Ishobnishad? Premcharu Bro, we request you to submit your OBA and CBA by next week. Next week is the last time to submit all pending exams. How many of you have not given close book, open book, or shloka test of Updeshamrut, nectar of instruction? So next week, that is 12th January, is the last day for submitting this. If you are not able to submit by 12th January, you no need to come here for any classes further. Okay? We are very happy that you can sit in your home and do whatever entertainment you want. Is that clear? 12th January is the last day to complete all your pending exams. Thank you. Krishna Prabhu, make sure that it happens by 12. Give the reminder, 2, 3 reminders in a week. Hmm? Nectar of instructions. I already told, na instruction, no, Enoika. Ishopnishad, no, not it. So Gita, Bhagavad Gita is a very important book. When was the Bhagavad Gita spoken? 5000. Thank you. So approximately 5000 years before this book was spoken. This book was spoken to for Arjuna. No, I'm not asking. I'm telling. So this book was spoken for Arjuna, and also this book was spoken for all of us. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara, Tatra Sri Vijay or Bhutir, Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. So Krishna is saying wherever there is Arjun and wherever there is Krishna, wherever there is mainly Krishna, Yatra Yogeshwara, Yogeshwara Krishna, Tatra Partha Dhanurdhara, Yatra Sri Vijay or Bhuti, Tithe, वहाँ पर, there, Vijaya is surely there. And not only Vijay, there is going to be Aishwarya also. Tatra Shri, Shri means Aishwarya. There is going to be a lot of opulence and there is going to be victory, Vijaya, everywhere. So this book is talking about Vijaya. This book is talking about Aishwarya. So everybody is desiring that name, fame, glory, Aishwarya, and everything. Not Aishwarya, Aishwarya. So everybody is, aiming for that. So it's a life-changing book. It's very much important. When I studied this Bhagavad Gita first time from my teacher, I still have that written here. The Bhagavad Gita, this is apply for the life change. That's what was the told to us, that this particular book is to change our life. This book is very, very important. So we are not going to just get into the glorification of Bhagavad Gita. We are going to understand the technical knowledge which is spoken by Krishna. This book speaks about yoga. What is the meaning of yoga? Union with God, union of a soul and super soul, connection with the God. So this book is to talk. He's talking mainly about establishment of our connection with the God. So this is not only talking about establishment. It also talks in the beginning about sambandha, abhideya, and then prayojana. The sambandha is who are we, what is our connection. So it is giving us the knowledge of our relationship with the God. So we have unfortunately forgotten that relationship with the God, and then this book in the beginning is talking about the sambandha, the relationship with the God. Then comes second thing, that is process. So first 6 chapters talk about sambandha, what is our relationship with the God. The next 6 chapters talk about the process by which we can establish that relationship with the God. And then last sixth chapter, mainly the 18th chapter, talks about prayojana. That is the Gantavya our goal, our aim, desired goal. It talks about it. So this book is glorified by many, many acharyas in many, many different ways. So though it is Nimbarka Acharya, Ramanujacharya, or all the acharyas from our sampradaya, Baldev Vidyabhushan, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur glorify this book, and they have given a lot of commentaries on this book. Not only that, but this book is understood, studied by thousands and lakhs of scholarly people and many people, and that has changed the life. Like you must have heard or seen a lot of reels recently regarding that boy Gukesh studying Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, or the first medal winner in Olympics. What is her name? Olympics में this Olympic 2024 Olympic. No, first medal winner this year Neeraj Chopra world he gold he got last time. This time he got silver. वो माता का नाम क्या है? Anyways, not so important. हाँ, so she speaks that Bhagavad Gita has changed her life, and Bhagavad Gita is something which is very important. So we are not doing a book distribution seminar here. We are studying a Bhagavad Gita, but then this book is changing life of many. This book is changing, and any difficulty, sir? So this class is not an entertainment. This class is not even edutainment. This class is for education. So if you want to glorify, sadhu is a good word. And if somebody is saying chik chik, all of that, they can be present online. No problem. Because we are not here for any entertainment or any time pass. Okay, please don't take this class as a time pass. Whatever entertainment, edutainment you were to go through, you have already gone through it since your childhood. So learn something seriously. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his glorification of this book talks about, he says that Bhagavad Gita is a very precious thing. It is such a precious thing that it is like a box. It's a very ornamented, nice, beautiful golden box made of gold. It has a lot of diamonds and other things attached to it. And in this box, there is a very special diamond, which is very, very, very precious, which is very costly. And then he gives a description that this first 6 chapters of this particular book is the upper covering of this box. Box has a lid. So upper covering of that box is the first 6 chapter, and the bottom of the box is the last 6 chapter. And that precious jewel which is there, it is in between, that is that diamond, special diamond, is the middle 6 chapter. So as I said that there is Sambandha, Abhitheya, Prayojan, the 6 chapters are divided that way. Similarly, these 6 chapters are also divided into first 6 chapters talks about Karma Yoga, last 6 chapters talks about Jnana Yoga. And the most precious thing, which is Bhakti Yoga, is spoken between middle 6 chapters. So 1 to 6 is Karma Yoga, 7 to 12 is Bhakti Yoga, and 13 to 18 is Jnana Yoga. So please remember this. We are going to study a lot of different yogas. Mainly we are going to study about Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. Then we are going to study about Ashtanga Yoga. And lastly, we are going to speak about Bhakti Yoga, or in between also. So, as this is a precious jewel, Prabhupada talks only about Bhakti in many other things, many parts of this, many verses. Even there are verses about Jnana, or even there are verses about Karma. Prabhupada connects many of those to Bhakti. So, we understand that Bhakti Yoga is the primemost thing which is our practice. And then our Acharya, that is Srila Prabhupada, and all other Acharyas, our previous Acharyas, have given more importance to Bhakti. So whenever we are studying, we are going to understand every shloka in both the ways. The one, the literal meaning of that particular verse, which may be talking about jnana or karma, or also we are going to understand the connection of that particular verse with bhakti. Like there is the 6th chapter, verse number 30, talks about Brahman and how one should how one meditates on a Brahman and ultimately attains absolute truth, or the goal, that is Brahman is spoken. But then we see Srila Prabhupada giving the importance of Brahma, which is one of the features of Supreme Personality of Godhead. But he mainly talks about attaining Bhagavan there. So the point is, through our study, we are going to understand every verse wherever there is required. through that particular yoga, that is karma, jnana, ashtanga, sankhya, and also it's understanding through our acharyas, that is bhakti. So don't get confused whenever we are discussing about it, and try to understand it in that way. So Bhagavad Gita is a very, very important book. We are going to begin with the glorification of Bhagavad Gita, which is given in Bhagavad Gita itself. Prabhupada talks about it. Few shlokas we are going to discuss about it. They are the shlokas of Gita Sar, Gita Mahatmya, and also after that we are going to discuss about, why don't we open the curtains and open the window? थोड़ा इग्नोरेंस ऐसा लग रहा है, ऐसा थोड़ा सा लग रहा है कि थोड़े दिन में मैं और आप सब लोग सो जाएंगे. गुड. कृष्णा फैन बंद करो. So it's our great fortune that Bhagavad Gita we are getting to learn from a very authentic sampradaya, mm, and this knowledge is given by a great acharya. Many of these, if you want to get into a detail, you can also study some other acharyas also. We are going to study Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mainly, and some part of Baldev Vidyabhushan also commentary. This particular commentary, which is written by Srila Prabhupada on Bhagavad Gita, is also important. Many of the aspects from Ramanujacharya's commentary are taken into consideration by Srila Prabhupada. So whatever Ramanujacharya spoke about Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada also spoke. So we are not going to study Ramanujacharya's commentary, but mainly we are going to study about Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Baldev Vidyabhushan, and obviously Srila Prabhupada. Okay, so we'll go through the Gita Mahatmya. You open the last part of an introduction. I hope everybody has Bhagavad Gita with them. Not in a mobile. I want. How many of you don't have Bhagavad Gita, English Bhagavad Gita with you? How many of you don't have English Bhagavad Gita with you? Krishna Prabhu, immediately go to Jivdaya. Tomorrow I'll announce Kaustubh Das distributing 4-5 Mahabhi books. Okay, English Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita not in mobile. We want hard copy of Bhagavad Gita. We also want book and pen for your notes whenever you come here. Okay. I know you are very tech savvy. You are very grown. What do you say? You all have wonderful apps and mobiles and whatever connection. But then we don't want to use that. We'll be little old students, old generation student. Okay. So next class onwards, please carry your Bhagavad Gita. So go to the last few pages of introduction. Okay. So it begins with the first shloka. Gita dhana shilasya. Gita dhana shilasya pranayama parasya cha naiva santi hi papani purva jnana krutani cha. Rishi Vishwamitra, please read the translation. Ojasvi going through? Ojasvi going through. Take the mobile. Give to Rishi Vishwamitra. Mic is not on. Lord says very loudly in the last portion of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So this particular shloka, the first shloka, which is spoken in Gita Mahatmya, says, if one reads Bhagavad Gita very sincerely with all seriousness, then by the grace of the Lord, the reaction of his past misdeed will not act upon him. Rishikesh Konde Prabhu, Ajay Prabhu, please put on your video. You got these shlokas? Do you have Bhagavad Gita, Rishikesh Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhuji.
Ajay Prabhu, please put your video on.
Prabhuji, light नहीं है अभी.
Okay. No, that's okay. Okay, so if one reads Bhagavad Gita very seriously, if you read the first paragraph of the first shloka purport, the Prabhupada is talking about there that one should scrutinizingly study this book. So when we are doing a Bhakti Shastri course, we have to scrutinizingly study this book. And
Right.
also in the beginning, it is said that one should study this book seriously and with all seriousness. So sincerity and seriousness is a very important factor. Radhanath Swami Maharaj in his lecture many times speaks about it. He says three things: seriousness, sincerity, serious, and without ulterior motives. So we have to study this book with a great sincerity and with a great seriousness. And if somebody studies this book by the grace of the Lord, the reaction of his all past misdeed will be will not act upon him. So there are examples of that seriousness and sincereness. When somebody say that example, any story you remember that somebody studied Bhagavad Gita with great seriousness and sincerity. Mahaprabhu? Who said Mahaprabhu? He was not reading upside down. Okay, so there is a South Indian Brahmana. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was on the tour to South India, he went to Srirangam, and in that he saw a Brahmana sitting and crying while reading Bhagavad Gita. And when he was holding Bhagavad Gita, because he was not able to recite the shloka, Sanskrit shloka properly, many other Brahmanas were laughing at him. So Mahaprabhu felt that because he is insulted, sometimes we insult our friends, no? And then they feel very sad. And we don't care about it. But we don't know how much serious and sincere and he's close to Lord. So if we come to know that somebody is sitting next to us, Prabhupada used to say, if you come to know that who is sitting next to you, you will faint. So we can't judge a person externally and make laugh at him. So similarly, these Brahmanas were laughing at him. And that's why, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to him and asked, why are you crying? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my spiritual master told me to read Bhagavad Gita. And I'm just reading Bhagavad Gita. While reading Bhagavad Gita, I see that Kurukshetra war field, and I see Krishna and Arjuna on the chariot. And Krishna is giving this knowledge. So he was getting darshan of that particular Leela of Lord with Arjuna. So that much he elevated he was. And while doing all these things, he was getting the sattvic vikara, or he was crying in the remembrance of Lord. And he was also saying that how Lord is so compassionate. And seeing the compassion of Lord, I am feeling like crying. So with the sincerity and seriousness, we will attain that Krishna prema. So here in this shloka it is said, all our past misdeed will be eradicated. But not only past misdeed will be eradicated, we will attain that Krishna prema. And how we will attain? By the grace of the Lord. And how that grace will come? By sincerely studying this book, that grace will come. So we have to take this book very seriously. Not only this book, all the scriptures we have to take very seriously, but which is our study, that is very important. So further, Bhagavad Gita 18.66, Adinath Prabhu, please read. हाँ, सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहम त्वां सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुच.
Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Thus the Lord takes all responsibility for one who surrenders unto him, and he indemnifies
Krishna Prabhu.
such a person against all reaction of sins.
Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. So previous verse it was spoken that how all his sins will be eradicated. So it's same thing Krishna is saying that do not fear. If you surrender unto me completely, I will take care of you. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. If you surrender only to me, giving up all your attachments, all your religions, aham tvam sarva papyabhyo. I will personally come and wash away all your sins. Ma sucha, fear not. You do not have to fear. Further, malam nirmochanam pursam, jalam sthanam dine dine, sakruta geetamruta snanam, samsara malanashanam. So, how this progress will happen is spoken in the further verse. Prem Charu Prabhu, please read the translation. Next class, everybody has to have their Bhagavad Gita with them. Okay.
One may cleanse himself daily by taking a bath in a water, but if one take a bath even once in the sacred Ganges water of Bhagavad Gita, for him the dirt of the material life is altogether vanished.
Vanquished.
Gita Mahatma 3.
So, malam
Gita
nirmochanam pumsa, jalam snanam dine dine. What we do? We daily take bath. I believe everybody takes bath daily. So, why we take bath daily? Because there is a lot of dirt which is accumulated all over body. So, malam nirmochanam pumsa, jalam snanam dine dine. We pour water and take bath daily. Similarly, there is a lot of dirt in our heart. There is a lot of dirt in our consciousness, and that has to be eradicated. How that happens? Malam nirmochanam pumsa, jalam sthanam dine dine, sakruta gita amruta snanam. So, by taking bath with a Gita Amruta, that is Bhagavad Gita, if somebody takes bath with Gita, what will happen? Samsara mala nashanam. All the mala which is accumulated for over so many lifetimes will be completely washed away. So that's why Bhagavad Gita is a very important book by which we can remove all the dirt from our heart. Next, Gita
गीता सुगीता
गीता
कर्तव्य
सुगीता कर्तव्यम
कर्तव्यम
किम
किम
अन्य
अन्य
शास्त्र
शास्त्र
विस्तारे
विस्तार है
यस
यस
वयम पद्मनाभस्य मुख पद्माद
पद्मात्
विनिश्रिता. If you remember, we had discussed all these shlokas and we had by hearted also these shlokas. How many of you remember all these shlokas? अच्छा mentor group मध्ये झालं होतं. No. Shlokas were done in mentor group. This was open for all, you are right. We had many classes during lockdown. So that's why we are not going to, we have already studied first three chapters. Because we are going to study, don't worry. Siddhant is like, because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Supreme Personality of Godhead, one need not read any other scripture. Gita, Sugita Kartavyam, Kim Anya Shastra Vistare. Gita is spoken personally by the God. So that's why this particular book is named as Bhagavata Gita. So this is a particular song which is spoken by Bhagavan, the Supreme Person of Godhead, Krishna. And that's why if Krishna has spoken, who is the Supreme Lord, from whom all the Vedas come, if he has spoken this particular book, what is the need of studying other books? Gita Sugita Kartavyam Kim Anya Shastra Vistare. What is the need of other scriptures? There is no need of reading others. Yes Swayam Padmanabhasya. तो पद्मनाभ भगवान है जिनके नाभि से कमल आता है, वो पद्मनाभ भगवान जो है, यह स्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुख पद्माद विनिश्रिता, उनके मुख से ये गंगा बह रही है. तो ये जो गीत है, गीता का अमृत है, वो अमृत बह रहा है. If it is flowing, that's why we have to give importance to this book, and there is no need of studying other scripture. This particular scripture is sufficient to make our life perfect. I still remember Satyavati Mataji. I was talking to her. I was also taking treatment in naturopathy center in Urai Kanchan. She was also there. So those center people in the evening they used to have different speakers speaking. So they requested us that please speak. So I said, Mataji, you are so elevated, so senior. You please speak. And she said, I don't know anything. I just know Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita. I never studied anything else. I said, Mataji, how is that possible? You must have read Bhagavatam, Chaitanya. He said, I have never crossed Bhagavad Gita. I have studied Bhagavad Gita at least 55 times. That time she was telling, around 10 years before. She had studied Bhagavad Gita 55 times. So somebody may have that understanding, attachment, and somebody can go through so much. So Bhagavad Gita is sufficient to deliver ourselves. And Makataji is not only studied Bhagavad Gita 55 times, she must have spoken 100 times Bhagavad Gita. The whole Bhagavad Gita, first start to end. So that much of preaching she did, that much of reading she has done. And studied she has done Bhagavad Gita. She was so well versed. She was knowing almost all the verses thoroughly from Bhagavad Gita. So it's a great absorption for us if you really take it. You are just 20, 25, and if you want to, by the end of your life, we'll be very proud to tell if I'm there. I may not be there that time, but then somebody will very proudly tell that Prabhu had studied Bhagavad Gita 100 times. And there are proper disciples like Kavi Chandra Swami Maharaj always carries nectar of instruction with him. And there's another Maharaj who always study Ishopnishad. They have studied, they have read these books at least 150 to 100 times. And they have spoken also 150 to 100 times. So there are best examples. And that is what the seriousness and sincerity of studying this book. This is a life-changing book. So we have to apply to change our life, this particular book. So Gita Sugita Kartavyam Kim Anya Shastra Vistarai. Yah Swayam Padmanabhasya Mukha Padmat Vinishruta. Krishna Prabhu, read the translation.
Because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one need not read any other Vedic literature. One need only attentively and regularly hear and read Bhagavad Gita. In the present age, people are so absorbed in mundane activities that it is not possible for them to read all the Vedic literatures. But this is not necessary. This one book, Bhagavad Gita, will suffice because it is the essence of all Vedic literatures and especially because it is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Gita Mahatmya 4.
So Bhagavad Gita is also called as a Gita Upanishad. There are how many Upanishads? 100. Out of that, one Upanishad is Gita Upanishad. So we study Kathopanishad and many other Upanishads. Prabhupada quotes many other Upanishads in between. So out of that, Gita Upanishad is one of the Upanishad. And Upanishads and Vedas are nothing but the words of God. They are spoken by the God. Like Vedas, they also come from the mouth of Lord. Similarly, Gita, which is also important Upanishad, which is also spoken. So Upanishads are, if somebody is saying that, how are you saying Gita is just 5,000 years back, Upanishads and Vedas came lakhs and lakhs of years before. So we have to tell people that this is also Upanishad, which was also spoken way before. So where Krishna speaks about this, that I had given this knowledge before also. Fourth chapter, first 2-3 verses speaks about it. What he says? In Parampara, in Kshatriya Parampara, this particular knowledge was coming. But unfortunately, Sakalena Mahata Yogo Nashta Parantapa, that I know after some time, this particular knowledge appeared to be lost. Sakalena Mahata Yogo Nashta Parantapa, Yoga Nashta, this particular knowledge was lost. And that's why, hey Arjuna, I am giving this knowledge again to you. That's what Krishna is speaking about it to Arjuna. So, this particular book is part of Vedas. This particular book is a part of Upanishads, and that's why this is not some mythology. First of all, this is not some random knowledge which is coming, and this knowledge is coming from Swayam Padmanabh Bhagwan, and that's why we have to take this knowledge very seriously. Next, Bharatamrat Sarvesham Vishnu Vakrad Vinirishruta Gita Gangodakap Tatva Gita Gangodaka Pitva Punarjanmana Vidyate. So, this particular knowledge of Gita is compared to a Ganga, ओघ गीता गंगोधक उत्तम. सो मराठी में हम लोग बोलते हैं ना ओघळ येणं, पाण्याचा असा ओघळ येतो. ओघळ माहित नाही तुला शब्द? सो गीता गंगोधक, ओधक is also that similar ओघ. Like Kunti Maharani is praying in her prayers from Bhagavatam. She says this particular word come there also. त्वयि मे अनन्य विषया मतिर मधुपते सुकृत रतिम उद्भवता अध्वा गंगो ओघम उधनमति. And as Ganges flows towards the ocean, the flow of Ganges which goes towards ocean without any hindrance, let my attraction, oh Lord, oh sweet Lord Madhupati, let my attraction to be flown towards you. So similarly, this particular Gita Gangodhakam Pitva, if somebody reads this Gita Amruta or this water of Ganga, which is Gita, Punarjanmana Vidyate, he is not going to attend birth again. So Bharat Amruta Sarvesham Vishnu Vakrad Vinishruta. So this particular book, which is spoken in Mahabharat, which is nectar of Mahabharat, which is spoken by Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bharat Amruta Sarvesham Vishnu Vakrad Vinishrita. भगवान विष्णु के कृष्ण के मुख से आया हुआ है और इसीलिए दिस बुक इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. प्लीज रीड द ट्रांसलेशन. सिद्धांत प्रभु.
One who drinks the water of the Ganges attains salvation. So what to speak of the one who drinks the nectar of Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is the essential nectar of the Mahabharata, and it is spoken by the Lord Krishna himself, the original Vishnu. Bhagavad Gita comes from the mouth of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Ganges is said to emanate from the lotus feet of the Lord. Of course, there is no difference between the mouth and the feet of the Supreme Lord, but from impartial study, we can appreciate that Bhagavad Gita is even more important than the water of Ganges?
Hmm. So Bhagavad Gita is more important than water of Ganges. Like in the glorification of devotees, there is this shloka from Chaitanya Charita which says that Ganges can purify a person, but by the just by the darshan of a devotee, he is completely purified. Ganges can remove the sins of a person, but by the darshan of devotee, one may completely get purified. Similarly, this knowledge of Gita, you dip yourself in this knowledge of Gita and you are completely purified. So that's why this knowledge is very, very important. So when we are studying this, this is not exaggeration. Please understand, this is not atishayokti. Just for the sake, like sometimes people say that you people speak too much of you exaggerate the holy name. Like holy name is so powerful that it can remove the sins of your past, it can remove the sins of your present, and it will also remove the sins of your future. तो वे लोग बोलेंगे अरे पाप करने के पहले ही सब कुछ निकल जाएगा, इतना पावरफुल है क्या होली नेम? तो पीपल में डाउट. So we don't have to doubt on this. This, if somebody puts into the practice, this is going to work, and that's why we have to put this in the practice so that this will surely work. Next, सर्व उपनिषदो गावो दुग्धो गंगा गोपाल नंदना पार्थो वत्स सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्ध गीतामृत महान. So this particular book, there is a description given that there is a cow is being milked, गाय का दूध निकाला जा रहा है, and there is one bala who is removing the cow's milk, and there is somebody who is drinking this cow's milk. Let's study this. Sarva Upanishada Gavo, that all the Upanishadas they speak the glories. Sarva Upanishada Gavo, Dogdha Gopalananda. So there is a Gopalanandan, that is Gopala Krishna, there is Gopalanandan, who is Dogdha, who is a cowherd man who is milking this cow. पार्थोवत्स सुधीर भोक्ता. एंड व्हेन काउ इज बीइंग मिल्क, जब गाय का दूध निकाला जाता है, उसके पहले क्या करते हैं, बछड़ा जो है उसको दूध पिलाया जाता है. So who is that bachada? Partha. That Arjuna is that bachada who is drinking the milk of that cow. दुग्ध गीतामृतम, और जो दूध आ रहा है वो गीतामृत है. तो कृष्ण जो है उनके मुख से वो गीत आ रहा है, वो हमने देखा. उसी की तुलना करते वक्त वेद जो है गाय के समान है, और ये सब वेदों का जो सार है, जो दूध है, वो दूध जो है वो निकालने के लिए कृष्ण बैठे हुए हैं. और वहाँ पर जो वत्स जो है, जो बछड़ा है, वो अर्जुन है, वो दूध पी रहा है. जब गाय के पास बछड़ा जाता है तभी गाय दूध देती है. तो अर्जुन इज सो वेल क्वालिफाइड बिकॉज ही इज गॉन देयर, एंड दैट्स वाई वेदास द मदर is giving the milk. And then how the people are receiving this particular knowledge. The Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, the essence of Upanishad, is just like a cow. And Lord Krishna, who is famous as a cowherd boy, is milking this cow. Arjuna is just like a calf, and the learned scholar and pure devotee are to drink the nectarian milk of this Bhagavad Gita. So all the devotees are waiting to drink this nectar. All the scholarly people are also waiting to drink this nectar of Bhagavad Gita. Next is very famous shloka. Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Geetam Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva Eko Mantra Tasya Namani Yani Karmani Ekam Karmapi Ekam Tasya Devasya Seva. Please read translation.
In this present day, people are very much eager to have one scripture, one God, one religion, and one occupation. Therefore, Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Geetam. Let there be one scripture only, one common scripture for the whole world, Bhagavad Gita. Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva. Let there be one God for the whole world, Sri Krishna. Eko Mantras Tasya Namani. And one hymn, one mantra, one prayer, the chanting of his name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram.
Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Karmapi Ekam Tasya Devasya Seva. And let there be one work only, the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Hmm. So we understand through this that Bhagavad Gita is a very important scripture, and Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna himself. There is only one God, that is Krishna. There is only one mantra, that is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And there is only one scripture, that is Devaki Putra Geetam. That is Bhagavata Geetam, Bhagavad Gita. That's very important. Karmapi Karmapi ekam tasya devasya seva. And now we have only one service is to serve Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when this is with some importance of Bhagavad Gita which is spoken, and then there are multiple places. Slowly we go through that also. That how Gita is very important and what are the features of Gita. Before that, very interestingly, Gaurang Darshanpu speaks about preparing the mood for Gita. So I'll just go through it. We'll read it. As mentioned earlier, spiritual study is the vital importance to a spiritual seeker. And the study of Bhagavad Gita is considered foundation for one's spiritual understanding. At the one set, I wish to briefly present the beautiful episode from the divine pastime of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the study of Bhagavad Gita. I believe that this pastime and Srila Prabhupada's explanation on it reminds us of a key requirement for understanding of Gita apart from our intelligent effect. So this particular example of a Srirangam Brahmana, he's talking about it. And then, Brahmana's replies, I am an illiterate. I am reading the Gita as per the order of my Guru. When I read Gita, I only see Krishna sitting as Arjuna's charioteer, taking reins in his hand. He appears as very beautiful and blackish. Seeing Krishna instructing Arjuna, I am filled with the ecstatic happiness. Lord Chaitanya told him, you are an authority in reading of Bhagavad Gita. Whatever you know constitutes the real purport of Gita. The Lord embraced him and revealed to him that he was Lord Krishna himself. So after that, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed to him that he was that Krishna whom he was seeing on the chariot, being a charioteer of Arjuna. Lord is pleased by the devotion and faithful submissiveness to the instruction of a guru, but not by the erudite scholarship or a sharp intelligence. The real import of the Gita or any other Vaishnava scripture is revealed to one who has faith in who has faith in Supreme Lord and Guru. It does not depend on external things like pronunciation or scholarship. So pronunciation, scholarship, somebody says, I get to meet many people in Kothur where they say, 700 के 700 श्लोक आते हैं हमको भगवद गीता. That is not so important. The meaning, understanding of Bhagavad Gita is very important. And eventually getting this ecstatic happiness, which was understood by this Brahmana, is very important. So if somebody has not studied Bhagavad Gita, not understood, then they will not understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita. What is the essence of Bhagavad Gita? Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam varja. This is the essence. But then many people come to this conclusion, essence. What is the essence? One person has derived the essence from the 13th chapter, only one verse come. And in that verse, only one word comes, ahimsa. And he understood that, ahimsa is essence of Bhagavad Gita. Or, some other freedom fighter, he wrote Bhagavad Gita, Tippani on Bhagavad Gita, and his understanding is Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana, which is spoken in 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita ends on 3rd? No, Bhagavad Gita does not end on 13. It ends on the 18th. And that's why essence of Bhagavad Gita is Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam. But unfortunately, the scholarship or somebody who knows the pronunciation of verses may not understand the importance of this or may not understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita. And that's why we have to study this knowledge in Guru Shishya Parampara and as instructed by a Guru and Krishna. That does not mean that whenever there is a shloka test and we say the Prabhuji, pronunciation is not important. You only read in the first class. Prabhuji, Sanskrit is not important. Prabhuji, some translation we miss, that is okay. No, sir. You have to by heart these shlokas because Prabhupada used to say that all those devotees who are studying Bhakti Shastri are lawyers. You are going to get the degree of LLB. No, you are going to be lawyer of Krishna. You are going to be lawyer of Guru. And whenever somebody says that kaha likha hai Bhagavad Gita mein, I will tell you where it is written. 2.40. What is this? 2.40? 2.54. Yani Kaniji Bapani. Like I was talking to one devotee and he said, Prabhuji, we are studying 19.66 chapter. 1966 verse of Bhagavad Gita. So there is new Bhagavad Gita coming, which has 19 chapter and 66 verse. So Yani Kani Je Papan is a new Bhagavad Gita verse. 2.40 talks about it. Sitapragyasya ka bhasha, kim asid, kim prabha. Then 2.14, Matra Sparshastu Konteya. So we should be able to quote these verses. Section number 1, 2, 3, whatever. Section number 3, 3, whatever, XYZ. And then they quote those sections. So that's why, similarly, we are those lawyers. And that's why we should know all important shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, where we can tell that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. We can tell that we are the soul, we are not this body. We should be able to tell my connection with Krishna, establishing my connection with Krishna is very important. We should be able to tell that Bhakti Yoga is the most important. And the process of Bhakti Yoga. And for that, we should know all these shlokas we should be well versed in these shlokas. Scholarship could be a byproduct of one's spiritual study, but the end, intended end product is the development of a good character. The ultimately love for Supreme Lord Krishna, reaching such a pristine goal, begins with the baby step of practicing various elements of sadhana prescribed by our acharyas, of which spiritual study in the association of devotee is one of the important element. So Bhakti Shastri course, the reason behind Bhakti Shastri course is to do a spiritual study in association of a devotee. So whenever you are here in the association of devotee, it should be helpful for us to grow in our Krishna consciousness, and our spiritual study helps us not to become a scholarly person. Somebody certificate like a academic certificate of Bhakti Shastri I have received, and then I'm a scholar. I'm Pandita. That's not important. Pandita Samadarshina is important. That a Pandita who sees everybody on an equal platform is important. Shuni Kecha, what is that? Shuni Kecha Sapakecha Pandita Samadarshina. Brahmane Gavi Hastini. How it begins with the humility. What is that?
Vidya Vinay Sampanna.
Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shuni Kecha Sapakecha Pandita Samadarshina. So after studying, after getting a certificate, we should be able to see all the living entities on a same platform. So all living entities begins with our friends and colleagues and everybody else around us. So we should be able to see everybody on the same platform. Okay. Next, he says, I sincerely hope and pray that this book is some assistance in the study of prevision of sincere reader for the sincere reader of Bhagavad Gita, translated and commented by Srila Prabhupada and all other acharyas. Okay, so this particular book is very important. We are going to begin with the introduction of this particular book. Anybody has any question for whatever we have discussed till now? No question? This class does not have any question? Yes, bro. I was expecting this question. Why Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrut? So that after studying Bhagavad Gita, we understand that Krishna is a supreme Lord. And then after understanding the process also of establishment that relationship with Supreme Lord, we still have some doubt. And we may say that, okay, दिखाओ मुझे किसने establish किया relationship. And that's why Krishna had to give Bhagavatam. And after studying Bhagavatam, after understanding, oh, this is how relationship was established, then Chaitanya Charitamrut, how can I establish this relationship with God? And that's why Chaitanya Charitamrut spoke. And that's why this is, what is a school study till 12th Bhagavad Gita. 12th के बाद जो graduation study है, that is Bhagavatam. And then post graduation is Chaitanya Charitamrut. And step by step we go ahead. Another important thing, why Bhagavatam? Because our acharyas have given importance to Bhagavatam. Other Vaishnava Sampradayas, there is importance like you go to you Ramanujacharya speaks a lot about Ramayana, or Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya does not speak much from Bhagavatam. Even Madhvacharya, it's a part of our Param Sampradaya. There also he speaks a lot about Mahabharata. If you go and study Madhvacharya, they give importance to Mahabharata apart from Bhagavad Gita. So similarly, our Acharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mainly, has given importance to Bhagavatam, and that's why we give a lot of importance to studying Bhagavatam. And then it's a life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who teaches us how to put Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita into practice, and that's why we study this book out. Okay. Anything else? Yeah. You can ask in the mic.
In Vedas only we hear about demigods, we hear about astrology and all. So should we follow that, or should it be like abandoned and only Krishna? because it's a part of Vedas, right?
Krishna expects us to abandon everything,
Even what's given
even
in
astrology. See, we are going to discuss when once in the fourth chapter. All there's this the verse which comes that Vedas is the flowery words, and Veda is the net where some with a flowery net where somebody can get trapped. So similarly, astrology, Vastu Shastra, Ayurveda, and all other things is nothing. It's for maintenance of your body. And ultimately, we have to come out of this understanding attachment to body and come to the platform of spiritual, that is soul. And we have to act accordingly. So similarly, when you are acting on that, this becomes not so important. Other parts, astrology and all. So Krishna is asking you to abandon all of this, including astrology. Krishna is asking you to abandon all other attachments we have, everything, and just surrender to. And that's why a devotee of Krishna, like Prabhupada used to say, na, when you clap in Kirtan, all your rekhas will be changed. What does that mean? That you surrender to Kirtan first, surrender to Krishna, surrender to His holy name. That is more important. All other things will change. That and you don't have to worry about it. So Bhaya from the life of devotee goes that's how it goes because he's completely surrendered to Krishna and he knows Avashya Rakshibo Krishna Yehi Vishwas. He has this complete faith that Krishna is going to protect me. And that's why he's not dependent on any other thing. We'll study in the second chapter, verse number 7 also. What is second chapter 7, verse number 7? Karpanya dosha pahataso. So this particular word Krupana, Prabhupada talks about it. And he says that in the Krupana word, there are miserly people. And in that miserly people, some people think that I'll hold everything, all this asakti. And Prabhupada says that, all friends and families and bank balance and medical science will protect. So similarly, all other this knowledge of avidya or all other this knowledge of Veda is not going to help you. You don't have to depend on it. You just have to ultimately depend on Krishna. But then if you see what we read, that it's a gradual process. It's a step-by-step progress. So step by step we will progress, but eventually we have to give up everything. That is for sure.
Okay, so Pro, I got it. And Pro, so when we say complete surrender, so is it like for our sadhakas, if we are following a sadhana, everyday sadhana, can we say we are completely surrendered? Or what is complete surrender?
Complete surrender has a very deep meaning. Sharanagati. Sharanagati means you are, following the instructions of Guru and Krishna completely. So complete surrender means without Krishna. I just spoke about it in this particular verse NOD. Anya abhilashita sharma shunyam jnana karmadhyanavrtam Krishna anukulya Krishna anushilanam bhakti ruttama. What is that? There's one word which is missing. Anya abhilashita sharma jnana karmadhyanavrtam anukulyena Krishna anushilanam bhakti ruttama. So this particular verse speaks about the surrender. Anya abhilashita. There is no other desire. There is no other desire means nothing. I want to attain this, all material desires, so it is finished. Even in spiritual life also there may be some desires of attaining some pada, some position, some shunya, that completely you don't have to ask for anything. Ahetuki apratihata yatma suprasiddhati. That person is not having any hetu apart from surrendering to Krishna, apart from pleasing Krishna, apart from making Krishna as the center of his life. So Anna Abhilashita Ashanam. In that also somebody may say, I'll ask, this knowledge is very helpful. I'll be, attaining knowledge. So that knowledge, which is, part of a jnana yoga, that is also not required. In karma also he said, I'll do the karma, no? Whatever is spoken in the scriptures. Vedas are speaking about kind of karma whereby I can get some profit and benefit. No, you have to give up that also. Anya abhilashadasana, jnana karma dhyanavutam, anukullena krishnanuja. Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam. That accepting whatever is favorable for Krishna consciousness and rejecting whatever is unfavorable for Krishna consciousness. तो उसमें बहुत कैटेगरी आता है. कृष्ण के लिए जो फेवरेबल है वो एक्सेप्ट करूंगा और कृष्ण के लिए फेवरेबल नहीं है उसको मैं रिजेक्ट करूंगा. एंड वी हैव सर्टन थिंग्स, not certain, many obstacles, which are on the path to attain Krishna, and then we are holding to it. नहीं नहीं छोड़ना नहीं है, ये इतना रहने दो, बस इतना. एंड वी हैव, मतलब एवरीबडी हैज दोज अंडरस्टैंडिंग, यही कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस होता है. नहीं, वो छोड़ना पड़ेगा. हमने जो गुरु कृष्ण ने बताया उसको स्वीकार करना पड़ेगा. सो अनुकूल्य से संकल्प एंड प्रतिकूल्य से वर्जम, विच इज वेरी टफ. एंड देन अनुकूल्यन कृष्णानुशीलनम, that doing all these things for the pleasure of Krishna is called as a bhakti ruttama, is called uttama bhakti, or somebody who is surrendered. Okay, so the definition of surrender is We can list down. There are so many attachments, so many things which we want to continue, material and spiritual. I won't say it's spiritual, but then on the path of spiritual life, which we have to give up completely. And then that's what is a surrender. That living life only for Krishna. So it's a gradual process. It will happen. Stay tuned. Yes, Ru. Okay, by the way, we are going to study in the last unit of Bhagavad Gita about Sarvadharman Parityaj. So we are not studying Sarvadharman Parityaj now. Okay. Yes.
प्रभु जी के फर्स्ट जो क्वेश्चन था कि हमें वो जो सब एस्ट्रोलॉजी वगैरह ये सब बाकी की चीज़ें हैं हमें नहीं करना. यू सेड दैट अल्टीमेटली वी हैव टू गिव अप. सो दैट अल्टीमेट when should we
It depends on a sadhaka. It depends on individual. When? कब वो हर एक इंडिविजुअल के फेथ, हर एक इंडिविजुअल की श्रद्धा, हर एक इंडिविजुअल का रेडीनेस के ऊपर डिपेंड है. Krishna consciousness is for individual practice. It's not, yeah, some association may help us, some scriptures may help us, sadhus and guru will instruct us, but then ultimately, till the time you accept it, it's not going to work. Okay.
रोजी तुम्ही म्हणले की नाही का वन मस्ट गिव्ह अप ॲस्ट्रॉलॉजी डेमिगॉड्स जे काय काय पण जे आपण बघतो इवन इन द लाईफ ऑफ प्युअर डेवटीज प्रभुपाद वगैरे हे डॉक्टर्सकडे जायचे. सो व्हाय नॉट गो टू धन्वंतरी और यू से कुबेर इंस्टेड ऑफ गोइंग टू बैंक
Going to
बैंक और डॉक्टर अल्टिमेटली ते त्यांचंच आहे. वॉट एव्हर मेडिसिन म्हणा किंवा
See,
मॉनिटरी टर्म्स म्हणा.
whenever you approach a demigod, you offer obeisances. But the understanding is very clear. You are going to him and completely depend on him is wrong. Your dependence on him proves that that person is the supreme lord. Krishna is not so important. So from
डॉक्टर मध्ये पण होतं ना.
not necessary, na. That's a medium to either save your money or that's a medium to utilize or something else. So it's a medium. So if you are going to Kubera and asking for a money, that is okay. But then you are considering Kubera is everything because you are asking for money thinking that he's everything. Do you think that bank is everything in your life? Do you think that doctor is everything in your life?
No.
In fact, Krupana mentality, with what Prabhupada says, that that mentality we have to give up. What is that mentality? That Krupana thinks that this bank balance, my family, my relatives will protect me at the time of death. But a devotee does not think that at the time of death, nothing is going to protect me apart from Krishna. Rakhe Krishna mare ke, mare Krishna rakhe. If Krishna wants to protect me, I'll be protected. If Krishna does not want to protect me, I will not be protected. That is the faith of Krishna, faith of a devotee. And that's why he's not depend on bank. He's not depend on demigods also. He's not depend on astrology also. He just depend on the will of Lord. Ultimately, that is what is expected from a devotee. When we chant daily, that Ainandat, what is that? No, the last word. Ashlishava padaratam pinashtumam. That is our goal. That Krishna, whatever you want to do, you do it. And when that is the mood, he's neither depend on his bank balance, he's neither depend on his health. He whatever situation, wherever he is okay with it. Krishna has given. And that's why I'm saying that, this is not immediate. This will take a gradual process. And that's why what Sahil asked is that when is depend on ourselves. कब इसको स्वीकार करना है? इसको स्वीकार तो करना है. That is, if unless and until we accept it, we are not going to be considered as pure devotee. This complete surrender is expected from us. And then only we are going to attain that desired goal. So when is depend on individual.
मला असं वाटतंय क्वेश्चन थोडं म्हणजे वर खाली झालाय.
हम्म.
माझा प्रश्न हा आहे की आपण जे डॉक्टरकडे जातो बरोबर आहे ती जी कॉन्शियसनेस जातो की हा बाबा डॉक्टर आपलं सर्वस्व नाहीये जे काय आहे ते. मग त्याच कॉन्शियसनेस जर एका डेमिगॉडकडे गेलो तर प्रॉब्लेम काय?
काहीच प्रॉब्लेम नाहीये. That's what I'm saying. Whenever you go to a temple, any demigod temple, you offer obeisances. What we say, Vansha Kalpataru Vaishya, that he is a Vaishnava. I'm going and surrendering I'm offering my obeisances to Vaishnava. He is special because of the God mercy of Krishna. Whatever powers he has received is because of Krishna. Ganpati is called as a Vignaharta. He is Vignaharta because of Narsimha. So for us, Narsimha is important. So understanding is very clear that he is the Supreme Lord. Okay. So going to him is not wrong. But then asking him for some help, is little wrong. I mean, in fact, it is wrong. जो जिसके पास power house है, you have already know the power house. We can ask him directly if you want to ask. That's why I many times say that if you want to ask something material also, go directly to Krishna. Why do you have to go in somebody in between? You don't have to go somebody in between. And that's what a complete surrender is expected from Krishna. That you don't depend on demigod, you don't depend on any other thing. What I'm trying to tell you is, not even on this medical science or not on your bank balance also you have to be dependent. You have to depend on only the supreme source, that is Krishna. Not satisfied, ask.
नाही, काय झालं तरी भगवंत थोडी खाली येणार आहेत. आपल्याला जाणं तर डॉक्टरकडेच आहे ना.
Another important right question, that if Krishna, like we say that, if somebody is writing something or somebody is making a painting, right? If that person is glorified, that, oh, he's such a good painter. But ultimately, the idea or the brain or the knowledge comes from Krishna. Do you accept that?
हां.
Okay, source is Krishna, knowledge is coming from Krishna. So if that same Krishna has created some facility here, some system here, some process here, we just accept that. Okay, ये भगवान ने दिया हुआ knowledge है, उस पर knowledge से this particular doctor is working, this particular system is there in the place for this current age and time to work, and this is in place. So I utilize this. That's it. He's neither depend on it. It's not ultimate. It's not the source. He's saying, okay, this is the facility for me, which is easy to approach and accept. I use it, which is coming from Krishna. Okay.
So I think there is a difference between Ayurveda and astrology. I think there's a difference between Ayurveda and astrology. So Ayurveda is like, if we are sick, we have to take help from someone, right? Astrology is like, it's not.
It's same.
No, I mean, we
you,
cannot.
you have some difficulty and you seek help. There is also the help is of either of bodily differences or some financial crisis or something. You are seeking help from this particular. See, I'm not denying astrology is wrong. I'm not saying the Ayurveda is wrong. These are all Vedic knowledge. Because it is Vedic knowledge, it is perfect. When we say Om Purnamada, Om Purnamidam, Purnat Purnamidachyate, so whatever coming from the Supreme complete is complete. It's not wrong. But that's not everything. So through Ayurveda, you are seeking help for body. Through astrology, you are trying to understand your future and all of that. That is also seeking help for your emotions. That is also seeking help for your finance. That is also seeking help for your thing. So this is all knowledge which is coming from Vibras. That is to help your body to sustain or whatever related to body. So that's not much difference.
I mean, people can survive without going to an astrologer, but they cannot survive without.
Okay,
If
that
they have
is-
they've
that is
fallen sick,
accepted.
they have
That
to go
way
to
it
a
is
doctor.
Yeah, that is
Right.
that way it is different. Yes.
So it's not necessary, I'm saying. So I think that can change the perspective. We can go to a doctor and not an astrologer.
Okay, this is Bhakti Shastri class. Okay, quick. Give to Mihir first. त्याच टॉपिकवर ठीक.
As you said, we can't ask a demigod for anything. We have to ask for the powerhouse. If powerhouse is taking too much time to give, we can ask.
So powerhouse does not take even single second to give if it is if you deserve. If you don't deserve, you are not going to get it. Okay.
But Guruji, Krishna gives which are favorable for our bhakti. But what if
We are not that elevated. Okay, right. Okay. Because you are surrendering to Krishna, you are going to Krishna. Krishna will give what is required to you. But also, if Krishna wants to see, ultimately it's in the hand of Krishna. Like if you study NOD, you will understand this particular aspect very much in detail. That, there is a difference between a sadhana bhakta, raganuga bhakta, and bhava bhakta. So, Krishna awards when it comes to a bhava bhakta, not even raganuga bhakta. When it comes to bhava bhakta, Krishna awards him if it is necessary for him. Krishna awards him if it is not becoming obstacle in his path of devotional service. Because raganuga and sadhana bhakta are offenders. They are offending holy name, they are offending devotees, they are offending something. They do not, Krishna does not so much interfere. So don't get scared. No, हमारा क्या होगा, हमारा कुछ नहीं है. We have to eventually elevate and follow this process. So don't worry about it. Krishna will surely take care of whatever is required, whatever is not required, and he will award if it is required. He will not award if it is not required. So, as Mihir Prabhu said, that powerhouse takes time. We should actually always reflect in our life: do I deserve this? Or another thing, we should always reflect in our life that something like many times we work hard, we don't receive the result. Many times we really pray hard कि मुझे मिलना चाहिए. तो अगर नहीं है यहाँ पर, वो नहीं मिलने वाला है. We shouldn't endeavor so. And ultimately, after some time, we have to understand, मैं अंबानी नहीं बनने वाला हूँ. I have to be peaceful. In fact, that is one of the quality of a devotee. That he is peaceful in that aspect. क्योंकि उसको पता है कर्म का, उसको जो definition है उसको पता है, उसको destiny का definition पता है, उसको पता है कि do I deserve this or don't deserve this. Anyways, this is going to be a part of all the study of Bhagavad Gita. You'll understand. 6th chapter speaks so much about it. Also, Bhakti Yoga mainly, the 12th, 15th chapter speaks so much about it. We'll understand that. So powerhouse is not going to take time, sir. Yes, bro.
What Proji said about that astrology and what Ayurveda. So
No.
you also spoke before that, but after that he spoke. So I mean, he said that astrology ची तर आपल्याला गरज नाही पडत, but when it comes to Ayurveda, medical practicing, whatever, we require it. So then his question was that why God is not coming to give us. So
His question was not why God is not coming. His question was his question was that we are anyways taking help of this medical science here. So why not go to Dhanvantari directly? His question was that anyways we are taking support of some financial system here. Why not go to Kubera and take financial support from him?
okay.
So I'm saying that not to go to him also, not to depend on him also, the current system also, depend on him. That is the ultimate thing. But then he has only created this system, the hierarchy, so we can ask
Exactly, yes.
we can go to it. But then seeking help of this particular material byproducts or material thing is understood, which is not all in all, that's very clear to everybody. But then when you go to demigod who has some power, वहां पे हमारा फेथ शेक होने का चांसेस होता है. There's a lot of chances of shaking our faith. यहाँ पे मेडिकल साइंस में हाँ ये ऐसे ही होता है. मेडिकल साइंस में 10 बार कोस के रखा है. क्रोसिन गोली खा के सर दर्द कम किया है, उसी क्रोसिन को हमने 10 बार कोसा भी है. But when you go to a higher platform where there are some spirit, there are some shaktis, there are some siddhis, there are some power, our faith may shake about Krishna, and we may consider them all in all. And that's why demigod worship is so much spoken, that not to do a demigod worship, because there are great chances of shaking our faith. This particular thing is not going to shake our faith. So many banks have, what is it? So many corruptions have happened. So many banks were closed. तो हमको पता है ये सब फालतू सिस्टम है, but हे सिस्टम फॉलो कर लो, हो जाता. We go ahead. How many of you have so much faith on every bank? नहीं है. बैंक के ऊपर किसी का हमारा पूरा 100% फेथ नहीं है.
बैंक का सरकारावरती पण नाही.
Anything can happen. Yes. So similarly, medical science also. How many Ayurvedic doctors we must have changed? But when it comes to demigod, our faith will shake because they have power. And then जैसा वो immediate effect जो है ना, वो immediate effect भी दिख जाएगा. And then our faith on Krishna will shake.
Can we say it like this, that all these things are provided? For example, in Ishopnishad, when we were studying,
This is first class. That's why I'm entertaining so much. I'm not Yugal Sham Prabhu will entertain so many questions. Okay. I want to finish on time also, Bhakti Shastri.
we studied about Vidya and
Meet
Avidya.
me personally for all the doubts. Yes.
Vidya and Avidya. So in that we studied about the Vedic knowledge, but for the human sustenance. तो वो उसमें आ जाएगा ना, but all these facilities are made for us only ना. So that example is there ना कि when a boy was standing near a shore and तूफान वगैरह आ गया, and after that 3 times the boat came, but he was like very stubborn. He said that only when God will come, only then I will cross this, or when I'll go. So then God came and told him that I send you boat 3 times. So
Right.
similarly, doctors and all these things, or this material creation in itself, is somewhere or the other
Yes.
given by God to us
Yes.
for our sustenance.
That's what I told him, no?
Yeah.
That is system created by God. So
Hmm.
we follow this system and be happy. Okay.
तर जे तुम्ही म्हणले की फेथ शेक होईल,
हम्म.
बरोबर म्हणजे नाही का? पण ते असं पण आपण असं पण समजतोय का, की आता की आपल्याला अजून खरंच फेथ नाही कृष्णावर म्हणून आपण दुसरीकडे जात नाहीये. मग ते तात्पुरतं त्यांना डिनाय करतोय. मग हे ब्लाइंड फेथ नाहीये का? की आपण अजून तर
No, our faith is shaky. That is for sure. Our faith is not 100% stable. What faith our Guru Maharaj, what faith Prabhupada has, that much faith we don't have. That we have to accept.
Hmm.
But then this is not blind because you have practiced and you have understood. Yes, Baba, this works, this helps. हाँ, अभी वो कुछ समय के बाद because of whatever understanding, whatever conclusion, whatever association, whatever offenses we have created, there will be always some disturbance. But then if you are steadily practicing Krishna consciousness, whatever vidhi is given, this faith is going to increase. Faith में वृद्धि होने वाली है. And that's why if you see, there are 9 steps of devotional service. The first thing is Shraddha. That innocent faith is very much required. Then only person will approach sadhu. After Shraddha, that this particular Shraddha is not very steady. Shraddha, then person reaches to sadhu sangha. Then sadhu teaches him bhajan kriya. Then anartha nivritti happen. Once the anarthas are gone, this Shraddha is transformed into nishtha. Nishtha is undisturbed faith. तो वो undisturbed faith आने के लिए we have to go through the process. But this cannot be called as a blind faith because you have followed Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. You have seen the change in your life, you have seen the change in others' life. That is Sadhu. You have heard from them and benefited. That is Sadhu. You have heard the instruction of Guru and have benefited multiple times. We just have to reflect back. Yes, this happened. हाँ, but अभी अगर हमारे जीवन में नहीं दिख रहा है तो हम we have to understand that we are not following the process properly or we are doing something wrong. And scriptures have multiple times spoken that this is what the situation, how you will progress, and then that faith will become nishtha. Once, that's why it is said in this 9 stages of devotional service, when somebody reaches to the level of nishtha, attaining bhava, prema, asakti, ruchi is very, very easy. We need to cross this anartha nivritti, accept this, go to this level of nishtha, which is undisturbed faith, and then asakti, ruchi, bhava, prema is very easy to attain. ठीक है. गीता सुगीत कर्तव्यम किम अन्य शास्त्र विस्तारे यस स्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुख पद्माद विनिश्रुता. This particular knowledge is spoken by Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and that's why this knowledge is very, very important. There is no other, there is no importance to study any other scriptures. We just surrender to Krishna. We just surrender and accept this particular knowledge. So this particular thing is spoken a lot in depth by Srila Prabhupada in this introduction. This introduction is Introduction to Bhagavad Gita is one of the lecture given by Srila Prabhupada, which was later transcribed and put into the Prabhupada. They showed it to Prabhupada and Prabhupada said this is the best as an introduction to Bhagavad Gita. So in the beginning there are prayers. We all know the prayers and we all know the meaning of these prayers. Then the first paragraph after Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You see that? Please open the introduction. The first part speaks about the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, this particular paragraph speaks about spirit of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is also known as the Gita Upanishad. It is the essence of Vedic knowledge, one of the most important Upanishad in the Vedic literature. Of course, there are many commentaries in English on the Bhagavad Gita. One may question the necessities of another one. So somebody may say that why Prabhupada wrote, Prabhupada commented. There were already 700 commentaries on Bhagavad Gita when Prabhupada wrote his commentary. And there were many commentaries which were not perfect. In fact, the Bhagavad Gita in the beginning, which was referred by Prabhupada or which was initially used by Prabhupada, was Dr. Radhakrishnan's Bhagavad Gita. And that time Dr. Radhakrishnan's Bhagavad Gita was one of the famous Bhagavad Gita in 1960. 1960, right? One of the Dr. Radhakrishnan. So his Bhagavad Gita was one of the famous Bhagavad Gita at that time. And then Prabhupada is writing, why? What is the need of reading? So then we understand the spirit of studying Bhagavad Gita as it is. Will you go ahead? This present edition can be explained in the following way. Recently, an American lady asked me to recommend an English translation of Bhagavad Gita. Of course, in America, there are so many editions of Bhagavad Gita available in English. But as far as I have seen, not only in America, but also in India, none of them can strictly said to be authoritative because it is almost every one of them commentator has explained his own opinions without touching the spirit of Bhagavad Gita as it is. So Prabhupada has spoken the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. And that's why this is very important. And that's why I said in the beginning only that the spirit of Bhagavad Gita is surrendering to Krishna, which is Bhakti Yoga. And that's why we'll see Prabhupada connecting everywhere Krishna. So the spirit of Bhagavad Gita is spoken, which was not spoken by many other commentators. And that's why this particular book is very important. This particular Bhagavad Gita as it is, commentary is very important.
Guruji, when did Prabhupada first write Bhagavad Gita? Means before he read all other commentaries of the acharyas. Means when did he start compiling Bhagavad Gita?
Prabhupada's first compilation of Bhagavad Gita was when his wife sold his Bhagavad Gita papers. So that was when he before taking sannyas. So Prabhupada took sannyas in 1959, 1955, 1955. And Prabhupada took sannyas in 1955. So Prabhupada left house before that. So maybe 1950 or so, Prabhupada wrote his first commentary on Bhagavad Gita. But all those papers were sold by his wife for purchasing tea. And then afterwards, then Prabhupada wrote his another commentary on Bhagavad Gita in 1968 after the establishment of ISKCON. Till that time, Prabhupada was for Sanskrit translation on Prabhupada used to refer Dr. Radhakrishna's Bhagavad Gita. But then unfortunately, Dr. Radhakrishna's Bhagavad Gita concludes on the point that Krishna is not the person who is present on that war field. He is not the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is the Jyot, the light inside that person Krishna. That Jyot is important. So ultimately merging into Brahman was his understanding. So that's why this Bhagavad Gita was not right. Okay, let's go ahead. The spirit of Bhagavad Gita is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita itself. It is just like this. If we want to take a particular medicine, then we have to ये जो चीज़ है ना, ये माताएं बहुत करती है. मतलब मुझे सच में पता नहीं कि वे कौन से कितना माताओं का एसोसिएशन ले रहे हैं या कहाँ से सीख रहे हैं बात. बट ये आदत जो होती है ना वो माताओं की होती है. The spirit of Bhagavad Gita is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita itself. It is just like this. If we want to take a particular medicine, then when we have to follow the directions written on the label. We cannot take the medicine according to our own whims or a direction as of a friend. You know, you go to a medical shop. मेरे दोस्त का medical shop है. Go inside, take any liquid, and then take any medicine. our medical student, our pharmacy student will say, "अरे चलता यार कुछ भी ले लो." It won't work like that. We have to go to a doctor, and we have to take according to prescription. That's very important. It must be taken according to the direction on the label or the direction given by the physician. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita should be taken in or accepted as it is directed by the speaker himself. The speaker of Bhagavad Gita is Lord Sri Krishna. He is mentioned on every page of Bhagavad Gita as the Supreme Person of Godhead, Bhagavan. And that's why many verses begins with Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. So Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, that itself says that Krishna is that Bhagavan who spoke this knowledge. And that's why calling Krishna as light or calling Krishna as a normal person, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that those people who take him on the material platform are mudhas, they are fools. Of course, the word Bhagavan sometimes refer to an powerful person or an powerful demigod, or certainly here Bhagavan designated. Certainly here Bhagavan designates the Lord Sri Krishna as the great personality. So in many scripture, in Bhagavatam also we'll see, Narad Muni is sometimes called as a Bhagavan Narad Muni. Or sometimes some demigods are also called as a Bhagavan. So Bhagwan is word used for a powerful person, but then so similarly Krishna is not a normal simple living entity. He is a powerful person, and then we'll understand more about Bhagwan word further. But at the same time, we should know that Lord Sri Krishna is the supreme person of Godhead, as it is confirmed by all the great acharyas, spiritual master like Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Nimbarka Swami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and many other authorities of Vedic knowledge in India. The Lord Himself also established Himself as the supreme personality of Godhead in Bhagavad Gita, and He is accepted as such in the Brahma Samhita and all Puranas, especially the Srimad Bhagavatam, known as Bhagavata Purana. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Therefore, we should take Bhagavad Gita as it is directed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the fourth chapter of Gita, 4.1 to 3, Lord says, Imam Vivasate Yogan Proktavaham Aham Avyate Vivaswan Manave Prava Manurikshva Kave Bravit Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajar Shayo Vidu Govind Sakalena Mahata Yogo Nashta Parantapa स एवं मयि तुधे योग प्रोक्त पुरुषो पुरातनः भक्तो सेमि सखा चेति रहस्यम ही एतद उच्चतम. So here the Lord informs Arjuna that this system of yoga. So Arjuna, Krishna is telling in these first three verses. First verse is telling that how I gave this knowledge to Ikshvaku and Manu, and then this parampara started. Second verse he is speaking that this parampara was eventually broken, and then this knowledge appeared to be lost. And third verse is telling that why and how I give this knowledge and to whom I give this knowledge. Okay. Here Lord informs Arjuna that this system of yoga. So whenever we are studying Bhagavad Gita, we are going to study this way. That what is the connection of first verse to second, second to third? What is the connection of one section of Bhagavad Gita, maybe for the group of 10 to 12 verses, has connection with another group of verses. Like, Sankhya Yoga. Where is the Sankhya Yoga spoken? Second chapter. From which verse to which verse? It begins from 2.7 to at least 2.40. So this is whole Sankhya Yoga. And then further Sankhya Yoga, further there is a description of how the Sankhya Yoga is connected to those who are elevated, those one person who has achieved Sankhya Yoga and who is elevated. And then further it talks about how he walks, how he talks, and how he behaves, all of that. So similarly, there are sections, there is a connection between sections. So if I miss to tell you something, or if you miss to understand the connection, please do ask. That's very important. Okay. And that's how this book will be scrutinizingly studied. Here Lord informs Arjuna that this system of yoga, the Bhagavad Gita, was first spoken to our sun god explained it to Manu, Manu explained it to Ikshvaku. In that way, by the disciplic succession, one speaker after another, this yoga system has been coming down. But in course of time, it has become lost. Subsequently, the Lord has to speak it again, this time to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. How many of you read Bhagavad Gita before? Complete Bhagavad Gita, how many of you read at least once? Complete Bhagavad Gita from first page to last page. Only Vaman Rupru? You read? Complete? 2, 3 devotees. Okay, so you may not know. So after what we saw this Gita Mahatmya Shlokas, we saw in Bhagavad Gita, right? After that, there is a disciplic succession given in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so this particular disciplic succession is where? In your sampradaya, in our sampradaya. Okay, so please do go through this. So we may quote 4.1 and we say that, Ikshvaku, Manu, this, that, how that parampara started. But we should be also able to tell that Krishna gave this knowledge to Brahma, Brahma gave to Narada, Narada gave to Vyasa, and then from Vyasa, all other acharyas came, and then there is Madhvacharya, then there is Madhvendra Puri, Ishwar Puri, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then further Goswamis, this, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, our Guru, Acharya, and that's how we are receiving through this world. Okay. This is, this is a complete list you can say, but 31 is too short.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever prominent acharyas were there, mainly their names are mentioned. Like If you see, after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is Rupa, Raghunatha, Jiva, then there is Krishnadas, Narottam, and after that Vishwanath. So after Narottam Das Thakur and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Goswami, there was a gap of 200 years. So in 200 years, there was nothing. So some acharyas who were studied, they gave like what was the where is the connection? जैसे हम लोग अपना कूल देखने के लिए जाते हैं, father, grandfather, great grandfather, great great grandfather, ऐसा some we go through it and we understand. Here, ours is the Shiksha Sampradaya. Ours is not a Diksha Sampradaya. So in those 200 years, the Shiksha transformed. जो knowledge था, वो knowledge transform हुआ है. And that's how this part. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his teacher was, who was his spiritual master?
Jagannath Das Babaji.
Jagannath Das Babaji is Shiksha Guru.
Shiksha Guru.
But then there was another Acharya, another Guru, who was not from our Sampradaya. So he took Diksha from that, but then he gave importance to Shiksha. And that's why the connection is with Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj.
Prabhuji, Bhakti Siddhanta Swami and Bhakti Vinod, there's a lot of lost culture. Even the CC he was not able to find. A lot of things he had to find again. Is it true?
Yeah, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, not he had to find out, but during Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are multiple Chaitanya Charitamrita, and many people had written according to them their own things. So Chaitanya, when he got the original copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita, then he established the original Chaitanya Charitamrita. So it was missing in between. That's what after Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and after Baldev Vidyabhushan, there is again a gap of 150 years. Then Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, and then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and then Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So there is a gap in between. But then that's why ours is the Shiksha Sampradaya. Shiksha is being forwarded. Shiksha is being carried ahead. That's how it is. Shiksha should not get disturbed. That's important. Okay, so similarly, other acharya, like after Vyasa, there is immediately Madhva written. तो व्यासदेव के बाद मध्व कोई बीच में कोई था ही नहीं क्या? It wasn't like that. But Madhvacharya is Acharya, like Ramanujacharya is Acharya, Shankaracharya is Acharya. When they came, before that there was some other system being followed. So they had to come and establish that particular system. And then others have to establish some system. That's how it works. Okay. So if for all of your knowledge, this is the parampara. Okay. Vayuputra.
In that sense, if we were to say, तो वो खुद भी they themselves are the authority ना, वैसे देखा जाए तो.
Right.
So then they also can.
That's why I said na, they're acharyas, and acharyas are authorities. Like some things which are established by Srila Prabhupada because he's acharya, which was not followed in Vedic culture. Like woman Brahman initiation was never a culture. Prabhupada established it. It was not even till Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But then Prabhupada started giving initiation to foreign ladies that too. Prabhupada started because that was the need of our, that is what Acharya can make some few changes. That's what Prabhupada made change. So similarly, because he's powerful and he has received knowledge from, either by the grace of Lord or that's why he's Acharya. Na? Similarly, Madhvacharya is Acharya. So he, in between also, if it is a very huge gap, it is a gap of thousands of years. Still because he's Acharya who came to establish that Tattva. Madhvacharya came to establish Dvaitavad. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he established Achinta Bheda Vedatat. And that's why there's a different line of our Sampradaya. Okay?
Yes.
We're not getting into any Tattva discussion, okay? Let's go ahead. बास नहीं अजून आपण अच्छा 130 हो गया ना okay let's complete this paragraph because we'll continue that's important to continue okay I can decode all of your language one speaker after another this yoga system has been coming down but in the course of time it has become lost consequently the Lord has to speak again this time Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He tells Arjuna that he is relating this supreme secret to him because Arjuna is his devotee and his friend. Sa evam mai tvattade yoga pakta parantapaha bhakto semi sakha cheti. So, what is important to know this knowledge? One should be friend and one should be devotee. Krishna is telling Arjuna, why I am telling you Arjuna? Because you are my devotee and you are my friend. So the relationship with the God, हम लोग नहीं बोलेंगे यहाँ में भी फ्रेंड हो वृंदावन चंद्र के गले में हाथ डाल के फोटो नहीं खींचेंगे सेल्फी we don't. So establishing our relationship with God is very important. And at this time, our relationship with God is what? Yes, our relationship with Krishna is servant. Jivera Swarup hoy Krishna Nrityada. So we have to establish that relation. Yes, I am a devotee of Krishna, and my relation with Krishna is I am his servant. Yeah. So we can ask him to turn around and kick him. Because he's in a great illusion. And don't do it literally. But that's not right. That's we are going to study that also. We are going to study a lot. There are multiple times Krishna is speaking about immature knowledge or immature understanding. So he tells Arjuna that he is relating the supreme secret to him because Arjuna is his devotee and his friend. The purport of this, I'm talking about your friends, who if they are saying, we don't have to judge anyone. If somebody is elevated position, we cannot understand. But anyone amongst this group, if they are calling themselves Sakhi, you tell me, I'll do that. The purport of this is that Bhagavad Gita is a treatise which is especially meant for a devotee of the Lord. There are three classes of transcendentalists, namely Jnani, Yogi, and Bhakta. So please remember this terminology, Jnani, Yogi, and Bhakta. We are going to discuss this multiple times. So there are three categories, or the impersonalists, the meditators, and the devotees. Prabhupada is translating that as impersonalist, meditators, and devotee. Jnani, Yogi, and Bhakta. Here the Lord clearly tells Arjuna that he is making him first receiver of the new parampara because the old succession was broken. Yogo nashta parantapaha. Because the old succession is broken. It was Lord's wish, therefore, to establish another parampara in the same line of thought that was coming down from the sun god to others. And it was his wish that his teaching be distributed anew by Arjuna. He wanted Arjuna to become authority in understanding Bhagavad Gita. So we see Bhagavad Gita is instructed to Arjuna, especially because Arjuna was devotee of Lord, a direct surrender student of Krishna, and his intimate friend. Okay, this is an important sentence. We see Bhagavad Gita is instructed to Arjuna, especially because Arjuna was a devotee of Lord, a direct student of Krishna, and his intimate friend. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita is the best understood by a person who has a quality similar to Arjuna. कितने लोगों के अर्जुन जैसे क्वालिटी है? You are trying to achieve it. You are trying to attain that. And if you study Bhagavad Gita, you will understand. You will achieve also. That is to say, he must be a devotee in direct relationship with God, Lord. As soon as one becomes a devotee of Lord, he also has a direct relationship with the Lord. That is very elaborate subject matter. But briefly, it can be stated that a devotee in the relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one of the five different ways. So there are five different ways which are explained. First, one may be a devotee in a passive state, Shantaras. One may be a devotee in an active state, Dasyaras. One may be a devotee as a friend, Sakhyaras. One may be a devotee as a parent, Vatsalyaras. And one may be a devotee as a Sakhi, conjugal love, that is Madhuryaras. Arjuna was in a relationship with the Lord as a friend. Of course, there is a gulf difference between this friendship and the friendship found in the material world. This is a transcendental friendship which cannot be had by everyone. Of course, everyone has a particular relationship with the Lord, and that relationship is evoked by the perfection of devotional service. So that relationship will be evoked by the perfection of a devotional service. But in the present state of life, not only have we forgotten the Supreme Lord, but we have forgotten our eternal relationship with the Lord. Every living being out of many billions and trillions of living beings has a particular relationship with the Lord eternally. This is called Swarupa. By the process of devotional service, one can revive that Swarupa, and that stage is called as the Swarupa Siddhi, perfection of one's constitutional position. So Arjuna was a devotee, and he was in touch with the Supreme Lord in friendship. So this is a very important thing. One has to be a devotee of Lord to understand. And to become a devotee, we have to follow the process. We have to sincerely chant the holy name, follow the four regulative principle, come to temple, render service, do regular shravan, kirtan, take association of devotees. Then we'll become a devotee. And in this process of becoming a devotee, we'll slowly establish our relationship with God. Our current relationship with the Krishna is servant of Krishna. Okay? Any question? Bhagavad Gita complete व्हायला 4 months to 5 months for 1 unit. That means around 1.5 year for 3 units. All 18 chapters. 1.5 वर्ष. Actually 12 महिने लागले पाहिजे according to what is it academics timetable. 12 महिने त्याच्यासाठी त्यानंतर actually 1.5 month 1.5 month for Ishopnishad and all, and 2 months for Ishopnishad and NOI you can consider, and 4 months for NOD. ठीक है. So I want to cover particular topic or particular section in that particular class. So if you are having a question, our class may become 2.5 hours to 3 hours also. Okay. So no, in between also I generally after completing some verses I ask any question. So expecting that there will be some question on that particular, I'll entertain that. But if the questions are more and if they're going to get extended, we will entertain all of that. Only remember that your class is going to be 2.5 hours to 3 hours. Thank you, Rishikesh Bro, Ajay Bro. You have any question, doubt?
No, Prabhuji.
Rishikesh?
Prabhuji, there was a doubt regarding astrology, but I guess I'll ask it on
Yeah,
group
we can discuss
maybe.
personally. You can call
Yes.
me sometime. We can discuss many things personally.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.